I'm joined now by Palestinian-American activist and academic Sami Arian. And now, thank you so much for your time, first of all, Sami.
My pleasure.
You have written a timeline, an essay for Middle East Eye in the wake of the coup. It had some detailed analysis in it. Now, many people have said that this was an incompetent failed coup attempt, but you've said quite the opposite. It was actually quite well planned and it could have meant for a very different outcome. You also talked about the mastermind, General Akin Ozturk. What do we know about him and his motivations behind the failed coup?
Well, we know that he was the head of the Air Force just last year before he was in forced retirement. And we know also that he was a military attaché in Israel in the late 90s. And we also know, at least those people who are in the intelligence services think that he also one of the architects of this coup and that he belonged to the Golan movement.
Right, okay. And now, in the wake of the coup, where...
And also, if I may add, he was found in the Incirlik Air Force Base where he didn't belong. And he was there for 3 days.
Right, okay. Now, just in terms of 3 days on, 4 days on from this failed coup, there's now far-reaching arrests taking place. It's become a much wider and deeper situation here. We've got military, judiciary, education, suspensions, sackings, detentions all across the board, pointing to some 35,000 people. How does the government ascertain that these people are all conspirators?
Well, most of these people have been on surveillance. Most of these people have been known to the government. But I want to also add back in 1980, when there was a coup in September of 1980, there were over 650,000 people arrested at the time by the coup plotters. But I think in many instances, especially in the judiciary, in the police, and in the army, at least not everybody in the army that they knew about, that most of these people have already been known to the government and the intelligence services, that they belong to either Golan movement or they belong to this secret society that is trying to undermine the current government.
What does a secret society mean exactly? Does that mean
it means
people opposing the government?
No, it means people who have certain aims and motivations, and they came together not through a political open party, but they came together in a secret way in order to take and hold power. And that's basically the goal of the Golan movement. It does not present itself as a political party, which it has every right to do. It presents itself as a charitable organization, as an education organization, will try to infiltrate the most sensitive parts of government, including the army, the judiciary, the police. About 3 years ago, the government found out that they were wiretapping over 6,000 people throughout the government. And of course, that was totally illegal, but they were able to do that because of their many people that were spread throughout the government.
So is there a possibility at all that some of these people could be perhaps anti-government rather than just
of course,
rather than just Gulenists?
Oh, absolutely. What we have to do is to make sure that investigation takes place and they receive fair trials if they are charged. They may or may not be charged. I mean, there's a lot going on right now, obviously, in the aftermath of a coup. There are a lot of chaos, and a lot of people may have been caught up with that, so no one really knows. What is required here in a democracy is that you afford these people the right to fair trial and that they are proven guilty before they are determined to be guilty.
Let's talk about the education sector. I understand that just about every dean from every university across Turkey has been asked to resign. Some
I mean, the
almost
reports,
1,600.
Yeah, the reports say that...
What is behind this measure? Talk about that.
I'm not really sure exactly what the motivation is, but obviously there are a lot of accusations throughout, and I think there is a restructuring taking place right now within the country. Okay. And whether this is going to be a permanent situation or just suspension pending investigations, we really don't know.
Just one last question. You say that it's inconceivable that the coup did not have international backers. Any ideas on who these backers might have been? I
mean, you can tell from the reaction of the international actors what the initial reaction was. For instance, Israel maintained silence for 15 hours, did not condemn the coup until it was too late, that they knew it had failed. You could see its supporters on social media. United Arab Emirates, the same. Egypt, which even refused and blocked the UN resolution in order to condemn the coup and call for the restoration of and support of the democratic government in Turkey. So you could see all these actors and players. Now, the U.S. had an interesting reaction. First, Kerry was very equivocated, and he was very hesitant to condemn the coup and even call it a coup. And a few hours later, President Obama issued a statement in the White House, which is very unusual. Usually this comes from the State Department, in which he mentioned in that statement that he and Kerry had discussed the matter and that they are going to now denounce it. So he's trying just basically to fix the damage that Kerry caused.
Sami, thank you very much for your time today. Sami Arian, for us, a Palestinian American activist and academic.